Alright guys, so this is the next step here, the ball red wash. Okay, so you can see it's drying in some of these spaces right here, so I won't show you that one yet. Move over a little bit. Alright, so you can see right here, this is the ball red wash on this one. See how much it's muted compared to the one that hasn't gotten the wash on it. Whoa, stand up. Alright, so you can see right here. See how that's like almost an orangish red through the lens of this camera at least. So you can see the difference between the no wash right here and the Babbitt black wash right here on this one. It's almost a richer red. It mutes those lines right there so it doesn't stand out too much, because these lines are just kind of like the first highlight. So it's not supposed to stand out too much, but still give you that blending thing like you have right here. Alright, so let's put that back on this puppy right here. Alright, so this piece is done. This piece is done. Again, I did only a wash on the inside sides right here, just so it's muted on the inside. It's not very bright. So I'll just do this one next. I just wanted to show you this unwashed one to show you the contrast between the two. Here's a good contrast right here. Alright, so you see how bright it is compared to this one. This one's very muted. You don't want to blind. Well, you can use whatever colors you want, guys, but this is my little method right here that I'm showing you. Don't want it too red, don't want it too bright. If you have it all too bright, then you won't need, well, your highlights won't show up too well, and you'll just blind everyone. So muting it's good, and then having a little bit of highlight, so you can see right here what that one looks like. Get out of the lights there. So you can see right there, only the highlights are showing up too good, but if you look even closer, you can see where the, if you look, pause it or whatnot, you can see the original outlines of most of this, what I did. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like in the end, this turret. Alright, so while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and finish these off right here and put the highlights on this. And what I do for that is, let me reach over here and find it. That one's Fortress Gray. Alright, here it is. Alright, Mithril Silver. And I'll show you how that's done next while these dry. Alright guys, so while these dry right here, I'm going to go ahead and show you this next part right here. You can see right here, I'm going to start to dry brush some of this Mithril Silver off the side right here, make sure it's nice and dry. And go ahead and lightly from an angle, see how I'm kind of angling down and angling up, dry brush. And what that does is it pulls the paint off the brush and puts it on the edges of the model. So you can kind of see here, kind of tapping it a little bit even. And what that does also, it gives that effect of scraping, like a scrape effect. So the metal scrapes up, and on the edge itself, makes it nice and crisp lines, while in the same process gives you that dry brush metal effect. Make sure your brush is dry as well, and you can go ahead and put that on the Gatling part itself too, the barrels. I lightly dab those, and then kind of you can pick it up at an angle as well. I like doing this effect. It's really cool, I think. It's dry brushing, but make sure you hit it at an angle and not kind of like the whole of the model, because you still want to leave those black ink marks in the crevices. You don't want to cover them up and it still leaves a little bit of that bulk gunmetal color, of course. And with the scraping effect, it kind of blends at the same time as highlighting the edges, adding some of the scraping color, dry brushing, and then also a blending effect. So 3 in 1 almost. And it also looks really good, I think, too. Makes the metal itself look very new. So like for the Space Marines, it's cool effect. Used but new, you know what I mean? Like, it's got its good uses, but this is still a fresh piece of machinery, still being used by the Marines, Space Marines. I don't use this effect definitely for fantasy, for like my vampire counts. I use a different method. I used a more weird, worn, broken down, drab metal effect. Like these warriors kind of like have been trotting around in the mud to get to where they need to battle, so they fight and whatnot in the Space Marines. This is my more crisp army. So like again here you can see them pulling, dabbing the edges, pulling out, and then like lightly dabbing certain areas. And what happens is, again, it hits those edges and it pulls out at the same time. So those edges are nice and highlighted at the same time. Again, and then it blends the two colors together as well, and it gives you that awesome metal dry brush effect. And that is all you need to do for the metal parts. Put that down and show you guys. Let me pull that light up a little bit. Whoa, someone's falling on my hand there. So there you go. You get that nice edge effect right there. You can kind of see. Here, let me get in the darker area. On those edges, got the silverish. Also blends in. You still got that wash cool, so you got that awesome metal effect. Here's what the one that just has the wash on it looks like. So you can see the difference here. Ooh. Here's the final piece, and here's the regular piece without the dry brushing effect on it. Now, let me see if I can turn off the light here real quick and see if that makes any bit of a difference there. Kind of. No, still can't get a good light. Alright, so you can see right here. The final piece. And this one still needs to get dry brushed. And it's really quick and simple, and it gives you that really cool effect. So that's all the metal pieces that I'm going to do. And after that, these guys are done. And I just have to wait for these. These are almost dry. This one's still a little wet. And then I'll be doing the final highlights on these. And then just putting it together. Alright, we'll see what happens next. Alright guys? Stay tuned. You can see a little bit here in the darker light. Some of the metal areas.
It even has the CS for Confederate States. The hilt looks great.
Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do the skull real quick. I'm going to be painting it gold, or damaged gold. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to take your bolt gun. Alright, find yourself a nice detail brush. Not that one. That one's a little too big. So a nice detail brush. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and paint that. Pretty simple. Alright, try not to get any of that silver on your red. This one has little tiny crossbones, so be careful with that on some of these kits. The one from the Redeemer has just a skull. Oh, I just made a little mark. Alright, great. I'm going to have to touch that up real quick before showing you the next part. Alright, I'll touch up that last actually. Don't need to be touched up this moment. Alright, so once that's painted all silver, alright, so wash off your brush there, and I'll show you the next part.